What up, YouTube? Welcome to Deek Jackson's What the Papers Say. It's the 17th of August, 2020. And today's newspaper is The Guardian, which a friend of mine would say is full of woke pish. But maybe some of you like woke pish. I don't know. Lukewarm pish, hot pish, total pish. Is there anybody likes any kind of pish? The Guardian's full of it. And the front page, Joe Tracchini, comedian, making fun of mental health. Now, he does have mental health issues, so apparently that's all right, which I find to be a kind of reverse racism, or certainly a form of, there's a modern kind of prejudice that unless you're ginger, you can't poke fun at ginger folk. Unless you're black, your life doesn't matter. I'm joking about that. But before people start getting all social justice in my face, everybody's lives matter. I think anybody should be able to make fun of disabled people. Do you know when you're laughing at You've Been Framed, at people face planting themselves off their mountain bike, or they've cut the tree off that they're standing on? You're laughing at their disability. You're laughing that they are stupid. You're laughing at them and their misfortune. So surely somebody with the misfortune to be somebody with the misfortune to be a window licker is just as funny with somebody with the misfortune to face plant themselves off a mountain bike, isn't it? I don't know. Perhaps you could let me know on a postcard to It's All Funny. There shouldn't really be any limits on what's funny, I feel. And on the subject of social justice, police stop of MP due to systemic racism. The police stop of the Labour MP Dawn Butler was rooted in systemic racism that's damaging the legitimacy of policing. Now, you might think that was the newspaper's line, but it's not. Said the leader of Black Police Officers, leads the Black Police Associations. He is the new interim leader of the Black Police Officers Association. I'd just like to say something about this. It is the case in London. Most of the crime is done by black people. Look it up. I'm not making that shit up. I'm not saying it to be racist. I'm just saying, if you're a policeman in London and you're wondering who you should pull over or check out or investigate, probably black people. Street crime, it's a huge percentage. Street crime in London, massively popular with young black men. I'm just saying. It doesn't reflect, I feel, on the police badly that they give their attention to the possibility that young black men might be involved in drugs or muggings or other forms of street crime. They're just doing their job. What would be racist is if you were arrested because you were suspected of having committed a crime or being in the process of committing a crime, and you were treated differently than a white person who was arrested. But if you're in London, to be suspicious of black people, male or female, is simply a reflection of the statistical truth that black people are being more criminal. I didn't make the figures up, just Google them. We will win. We will win. Huge rally in Belarus defies Lukashenko. I wonder how this is going to go down for the people of Belarus. Possibly he will resign and flee to Russia, and they'll get a new president who will, take 10 years before they have the fingers in the till, or people find out that they're just as corrupt as Lukashenko. Perhaps they'll have a lovely honeymoon period where they flirt with the idea of joining NATO or adopting the euro. Don't do it! But right at this moment, the people of Belarus are on the cusp of either being mown down by machine gun wielding thugs flown in from Russia, or ousting the incumbent dictator and replacing him with a fresh-faced neoliberal cunt. Somebody who will sell them down the river to the European Union, who are currently paying you to take their currency away That's what a good idea it would be to join the euro. Or join NATO, who are so dysfunctional. NATO is actually buying weapons from Russia while it is in NATO. If that doesn't seem like a bit odd, I don't know what else is. So good luck to the people of Belarus. We will win. We will win. I don't think so. I think revolutions, as the word suggests, just go around. They just go around. It's in the word. You're just turning the wheel. You'll end up back in the same place with a ruler who is taking the piss out of you, who is a lying, murdering scumbag. I guarantee it. I'd put money on it. I would. I'm not a betting man, but I guarantee you that. Mauritius battles to protect wildlife after huge oil spill. This is a story that's still going. I'm going to repeat what I've said about this before. I am an oil spill. If you could see out of my steamed up window, you would see oil spill all around me. The exhaust fumes from fossil fuels are akin to an oil spill. They're poisonous, chemical. They coat buildings. They coat your lungs. A huge amount of disease and illness is being caused by them. And protecting some middle-class holiday resort from some 10,000 gallons of crude is just a waste of time. Your energy would be better spent trying to get rid of my diesel van, really. There's more of me, and we're doing more damage. Cheers. Today's cup of coffee comes courtesy of a large concern in the UK. And if you haven't noticed it already, I'd like to share a joke with you. Scientists have found the gene that makes you fat. She works at Greggs. And for those of you not in the UK, Greggs is a chain of bakers, incredibly cheap, really cheap, and lots of very unhealthy food. Famously, their sausage roll. So Dominic Cummings has been asked to hand over mobile phone and vehicle tracking data to disprove claims that he made a second lockdown trip to Durham at the height of the pandemic. For those of you not familiar with this, Dominic Cummings is an advisor to Boris Johnson. He was found to have disobeyed the rules that he advised, partly the government, while he was part of SAGE, the scientific advisory group of experts, to subject us to. And who is demanding this? The request was made by the former chief prosecutor for North West England, Nazir Afzal, who's leading a campaign for a full investigation into Cummings' movement during the lockdown. I don't give a fuck where Dominic Cummings went during the lockdown. What I care about is that he is an unelected person. He is an unelected nothing. He's a lickspittle, a homie of Boris Johnson. And here he is sitting on advisory groups that are dictating laws that govern my life. How do I get that job? Yeah, I'd like to dictate what you do with your life for a job. With no qualifications. He might have a degree in art history. Who knows? Who knows what Dominic Cummings... I just spilled a little coffee there. Not much, just a little. This is the first time I've cleaned my van since I got it. There we go. Yeah, what are Dominic Cummings' qualifications to advise on the medical experts who rule over my life now? I'd like to know. Love them or loathe them, the turkey Twizzlers are back. Turkey Twizzlers are a processed food in the shape of a spiral made from bits of a turkey you wouldn't normally eat. But when you make them into a fun shape, you'd love to feed them to your children. Or rather, various schools would love to feed them to your children because they're cheap. Prime Minister under pressure from all sides as A-level fiasco continues. It is a fiasco. I feel utterly cheated. It isn't right. What went wrong and what might happen next? I've got some news for you students who didn't sit an exam this year. You didn't sit an exam. Why am I driving a van? Because why the fuck not? I, I, I don't care if humans make themselves extinct. I'm just an innocent bystander. Well, no, I'm not an innocent bystander. I'm a neutral participant. That is to say, I don't really care one way or the other. I'm already dead. Cheers. What I care about is the pish people talk about the things that are going on in the world, not the actual pish itself. That I am polluting the planet is obvious and a given and known to anybody with 2 brain cells. It is. Everybody knows that cars' exhausts are dangerous. They really are. You could start with the carbon monoxide that's, it's a fave among those suicide jockeys, isn't it? The hosepipe to your car. It's poisonous. It's toxic. It's a pollutant. There's a lot of it. It's going into your air and you're breathing it all the time. What you going to do about it? I just go on the internet and tell people that that is the case. It's not so much a complaint as stating the obvious. It's obvious to me that we are a giant oil spill. Our civilization, our culture, our society, the things that we want and buy and do, it's all an oil spill. The plastic on my dashboard, the plastic in this coffee cup, it's an oil spill. The plastic bags, it's an oil spill. The whole thing's an oil spill. Fuck the Maldives, man. 10,000 gallons of crude in the Maldives. Fuck, man. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, you students. Oh, I didn't get the grades I wanted. I didn't get the grades I thought I was going to get. I was going to get blah, 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 blah. You didn't sit an exam. You should get fuck all. You should get no grade whatsoever. And then you should get outraged and indignant, and you should complain about the Dominic Cummings people who created a lockdown and destroyed the economy and closed down education for a pathogen which would struggle to kill my elderly gran and hasn't killed as many people as the annual flu. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? It's like invasion of the body snatchers round here. I swear, everybody I see has a face mask on, in and out of the shops. It's like invasion of the body snatcher. I'm the only one walking into shops without a mask. People look at me, but they don't say anything because we're too nice in Britain. Oh, sorry, could you wear a mask? No, it's okay then, we're just too nice. So all you students who didn't get a grade, tough fucking shit. Why aren't you outraged, since you've been getting an education, about the unnecessary and irrational lockdown, loss of liberty and freedom that we've all been subjected to for this scamdemic? Why aren't you outraged about that? Never mind your grades. Minister under fire over plans to scrap Public Health England. The government in Britain has decided that the people to blame for all the bad decisions? Chris Fick jogging wearing a mask. I know. You couldn't make it up. Yeah, Public Health England is to be scrapped, so the government can claim that they made all the bad decisions and mistakes. Serco. Now, I don't know what it's like in your country, but in Britain we've got a real hard-on for giving what should be, if you like, or could be, public service jobs or contracts that the government ought to run because they're not really a business. They are a necessary part of public infrastructure. We've got a real hard-on for giving these contracts to companies that fund the Conservative Party. And Serco is one of them. Group 4 Security, Centrica, Sleepy Shoegazer. Good afternoon. I am a bit late with what the papers say today. I had to do some stuff. Not like work or anything. Nothing undignified. Just some stuff. So, Serco has been awarded a contact tracing contract. That's a large private corporation has been given a contract by the government to collect your details if you're in the UK and keep them safe, honestly. And all the details of the people you had contact with. What could go wrong? Priti Patel, who is our Home Secretary, she says UK-bound asylum seekers are in fear of the French police. I'm not sure if she's blaming the French police for that, or if she's trying to make out that migrants are only coming here to get away from the French police. They're not coming here for our luxurious benefit system, or because we don't have ID cards and the police don't have guns and people say sorry all the time just for looking at you. They're not coming here because Britain is an island nation with a long history of decent human rights and recourse to the law. No, they're coming here because they're afraid of the French police, which I find ironic, because anybody who has followed Priti Patel's career, or even just had a momentary interest in it, will know that when she took office, she said the following: "Criminals should be afraid of the police," she said. "I will make it my job to make the criminals of this country afraid of the law." So here she is whinging that the migrants are coming here because they're afraid of the police. I don't think they're coming here because they're afraid of the police in France. I think they're coming here because the police sold them a boat and waved them down the beach. Allez, allez, le Grand Breton est ici. Allez, allez. Because the French have a sense of humour and they're laughing at us from the other side of the English Channel while we get all frothy about migrants. They're shipping them over. Honestly. Ill toddler's parents go to court over cannabis oil guidelines. Now, in Britain, we have only just made medical cannabis legally available. Although we made it legally available in the same way that space travel is available to private citizens. It costs a lot of money. It's really difficult, and you'll have to go in a queue for Richard Branson's aeroplane. It really is like that. We made it legal, but we also made it incredibly difficult, tortuous, and expensive. And because of that, people actually don't bother trying to get it off their local GP. They just go to Holland and buy it, and they come back, and if they get stopped, they take the consequences, or they get it on the street in the UK. And so this family, the parents of a toddler with severe epilepsy, who have tried every other drug in the NHS's armoury, 7 anti-epilepsy drugs, benzodiazepine, left him dazed, lethargic, and still regularly suffering 100 seizures a day, say he has been entirely weaned off those drugs now, and his seizures have ceased on cannabis oil. But full extract cannabis oil is unlicensed for prescribing in the UK. Full extract means, hello big guns, I missed your comment but just caught your name. Full extract means it contains THC and CBD. There'd be no point in taking cannabis oil that didn't contain THC, in my view, since that is the active ingredient. I look forward to campaigners in this country winning legal hurdles and arriving at the point where I can go to my doctor and say, I'd like you to prescribe me cannabis oil because, well, I just like that. Oh, sure, I have chronic pain. Oh, yeah, the pain, it's chronic. Whatever. Because I don't even want them to give it to me. I don't want them to give it to me. I don't want the taxpayer to pay it. I just want them to give me a prescription so I can have it and legally be on it so that, I can relax. Man. Use of N-word. I don't understand why newspapers can't print the word nigger. I really don't. I don't understand why we can't say the word nigger in whatever context, we want. When discussing the N-word, why not just say nigger? The use of the word nigger undermined BBC diversity, says news chief. So the word nigger was used on a news briefing, and now the head of diversity in the BBC says that just simply undermined his job, because apparently improving diversity at the BBC means excluding people who might use the N-word. That doesn't sound very diverse. I use the N-word, nigger, a lot. And when When I was at college, recently, I was doing an art degree. I wanted to do a poster which had the word nigger in it. I can't remember I tried several iterations on my tutor. So I want to make this poster. Oh yeah, it was Lenny Bruce. It was a picture made up of all the words of a Lenny Bruce routine, and the Lenny Bruce routine went like this. He comes on stage in a venue in New York and he says, "Hey, turn up the lights. Let's see all the niggers. Come on, turn up the lights so we can see the niggers. There's one. There's one there serving you your drinks. There's one there at the back on the door. There's one there at the hat check." And Lenny Bruce's intention, I'm sure, was to bring to the attention of the New York glitterati that systemic racism, or racism per se, was not about what you say. It's about what you do and or don't do. It's about the marginalization and the subjugation and the impoverishment of people systemically by even unspoken means. So the Lenny Bruce routine goes on and on and on, and it contains the word nigger repeatedly. And they wouldn't let me put it. They were saying, you won't be allowed to display that. That simply won't go on the wall. So I came up with this, right? It was a picture made up of the words, "If you can't say fuck, you can't say fuck the government." Hello, M. M, that's an interesting name. How'd you get away with that? I didn't know you could have one letter on YouTube. That's like James Bond's boss, isn't it? M, MQ, stuff like that. Anyway, I came up with this picture made up of the words, "If you can't say fuck, you can't say fuck the government." And it was a photoshopped picture of my face, and the title was godlike sniggers. Godlike sniggers. And if you said it really quickly, it said, "God likes niggers." And if you read it at face value, it said, "Godlike sniggers," like somebody who sniggers like a god. Anyway, I digress. I don't think the word nigger undermines racial equality. I think behaviors and attitudes do. Lukashenko pleads for armed thugs to come from the Kremlin to machine gun his people to death for demanding his resignation. That's not what the headline says. I just bet that phone call's taking place. Hey, Putin, I have really very big trouble with my people. Could you please send armed people? Because I don't think the Belarus people will machine gun their own families to death. I don't. So it'll have to be thugs from the Kremlin. Not that I'm saying that's any worse. They're worried I was fly tipping the car visitors yesterday. They were just concerned that I might have fly tipped some stuff. I hadn't actually that day. They missed me fly tipping. I should be careful about what I say now, because and at this moment I'd like to give a shout out to all the members of the military, industrial and nuclear waste reprocessing industry who may be tuning in. Cheers. So I'm not going to say anything about my waste management. The fall of a government is not enough to shake up a corrupt political system. This is about Lebanon. But I agree. You can change the shopkeeper, but if the stock is the same and you're still buying the Mars bar and eating it, then that's tough. Comedian Joe Tracini, the radical new voice of mental health. I haven't heard any of his stuff, so I don't know if he's funny. But now that the Guardian's told me that he has suffered from mental health, I do know that he suffers from poor mental health. Whatever that is. I mean, there's some of it is obvious, I know. But what's good mental health? And who decides? Zoe Williams, I love the Isle of Wight, but is it really the right place to test contact tracing? This whole page, right? Oh, by the way, just in case anybody thought the Observer, which is woke pish, was any different to any other newspaper. Let's see what they've got going on. All right, then this is the kind of woke pish The Guardian sells: mobile phones made by slaves in China, while it rattles on about fucking woke culture and equality and liberalism and racism and the environment. This is just another rag full of adverts that the editor gets wankers to write pish in so that people will see the adverts. That's what it is. It's just an advertising rag full of pish. And Zoe Williams' pish, right? This is a whole page. I had the misfortune to read this whole page. Do you know what her big problem is? Her big problem is there's now too many people on the Isle of Wight. It used to be much nicer, but now all those people who should be in France and Spain, they're coming to the Isle of Wight, and they're clogging up the beaches, and they're leaving a lot of litter around. Oh, Zoe. Oh, it's tough being white middle class, isn't it? I feel for you. Really, I do. Kill yourself now! Oh! Sorry. A demon got out of me there. Sorry. What is going on here? Staying alive. Oh, this is a double page spread on the disabled comedian. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not fluffy, and it's not a nice little gif with a hug. Good. I might tune into his stuff and see what it's like, and if I do, I will let you know. The Fringe on tap. The Edinburgh Festival was cancelled, but some people are doing some stuff online in a kind of pointless look at me kind of way. The virtual Fringe. Pub quizzes. Oh, wow. Comedy about black women dating white men. The God of Hellfire is back. Arthur Brown. Fire, do do do, I bring you to burn. Nice song. He's back. He's got a single out. He's 78. He's shielding from COVID-19 with his partner and manager Claire in a house near Malton, Yorkshire. The God of Hellfire. The God of Hellfire, shielding from COVID-19. How the mighty have fallen. I am the God of Hellfire, and I bring you... Could you wear a mask, please? Sorry, could you just leave it at the door? I'll get it. I'm going to leave it there for 7 days of quarantine. I am the God of Hellfire. I don't want to take too many risks. Fire, do do do, I bring you to burn. Right. Okay, I think we're just about done. Oh, the financial. Developing nation debt, that's the third, fourth, fifth and sixth world, has more than doubled in the past decade and left more than 50 countries facing a repayment crisis. What that should really say is indebting countries to control them has increased in the last decade, because that's what debt is, and that's what happens to you when your country gets into debt. And for the people of Belarus who might be about to get rid of Lukashenko and elect some, plausible single mum to run their multi-billion-dollar economy, who will immediately be visited by people from the IMF, said, well, wouldn't it be great if you could improve your infrastructure? And yeah, indeed, I am downwind from the waste management, but let's hope they keep it all nice and tidy. So the people of Belarus should be careful to not let their corner shop be taken over by somebody who then gets a huge mortgage with the IMF to build airports and modernize, because that's apparently what you need, You need to modernize, open brackets, get into debt so technocrats can run your country. All right, and now we've reached the spurt. Somebody asked me in the comments the other day, why don't you do the spurt? Because I don't do spurt. Except for the Grand Prix. And as there was a Grand Prix yesterday, I'm sure they will have written, there you go, they will have written about it. Here we go. Lewis Hamilton won by a country mile. He led every lap of the race from the start to the finish. Every single lap. He lapped everyone else on the track except the top three, himself, Bottas and Verstappen. He finished 26 seconds ahead of second place and 43, I think, ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas, which must be kind of galling because you're in the same car, you know what I'm saying? Was it entertaining? Not really. It was a bit dull. They put the rally, Gasman, they put rally on the television. It doesn't get the same kind of viewing figures as the Grand Prix, but it is on. I like to watch a bit of rally now and then. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton on course for equaling the record of Michael Schumacher. And, you know, it's not that I'm a Lewis Hamilton fan. I think I like Mercedes. I like Mercedes' attitude. We just keep on doing things well and see how that works out. And I like that. They don't claim to be trying to win. They say, we are trying to be the best we possibly can. And it turns out that helps them keep winning. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to What the Papers Say. Later on tonight, I may do a chat show, radio talk, as part of my 100 gigabyte data challenge. My 100 gigabyte data challenge is going okay, but I need to use even more data, so I must keep streaming stuff. And so tonight, I feel it's quite likely I'll be doing late night talk radio, streaming over the internet with the following number, 07903 953 759. I'm also available on Skype and Facebook Messenger. But I will make all of this information available in a thumbnail because I'm at home and I have my desktop, and I will create a decent thumbnail for the show that gives that kind of contact information and include links to contact buying stuff in public with Deek. Well, I don't buy much apart from coffee and diesel. You know, I recently had to buy new reeds for my A harmonica, and I've purchased a gimbal for the phone, actually, so that when I make videos, it's more stable. That was second-hand. I'm in a second-hand van. My phone is second-hand. My second phone is second-hand. My house is second-hand. My laptop is second-hand. Most of my guitars are second-hand. But you know, when you're a busker, you use things up real quick. So I've gone through a few guitars busking over the years, and my busking guitar, I purchased it brand new in a shop, and I'm wearing it out. So yeah, I don't buy too much, you know, food and stuff. But anyway, tune in later tonight, I think around midnight. Yeah, about midnight, 07903 953 759. Let's talk. See you then. Thanks for tuning in.